We have now made it into the second half of the season here in the St. Louis Dragons franchise here on Madden 24. And today we've got a doubleheader. Primetime Monday Night Football against our division rivals, the San Francisco 49ers, followed by a matchup back at home against the New York Football Giants. Our Dragons are currently 5-2. We're playing pretty strong football. We've won back-to-back games in overtime against the Commanders and the Chargers. Before that, our most recent game was on Monday Night Football against the Niners. So this is our second time against San Francisco on a Monday night. Last episode was the trade deadline, and the one position that we really wanted to address was safety. We went after some big fish. We were unsuccessful, so we settled on John Johnson from our division rivals, the Los Angeles Rams. Johnson's going to give us a solid veteran presence there at safety, and hopefully he can be a mentor for the young guys we have there. We had a handful of other moves around the league, including Joseph Osai being traded away from us to the Bills, Kevin Byard to the Jets, Taylor Decker to the Atlanta Falcons, Tremaine Edmonds going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where his brother was drafted, Joshua Palmer to the Ravens, and Drew Sanders to the Carolina Panthers. There weren't any completely jaw-dropping trades, unlike we've seen in the past, but still a handful of very interesting ones as we prepare here for the next stretch of our season. I do want to take a quick look at these stats just to update where we are through 7 games. Obviously, that all starts and ends with Puma Whitlock, who continues to have a really strong season. Our run game has been a disaster over the last couple of weeks, but DeAndre Swift is back healthy. He's been really good so far this season. It says he's played 4 games. He's really only played 2. He's gotten 1 carry since week 2. And in the 2 games he was healthy, he looked really good. So having him back is certainly going to help the run game. It's not necessarily all of the running backs' fault that we're struggling running the ball, but I imagine having Swift back will certainly be helpful. And then defensively, obviously Devin White and Simeon Bonnet lead the way. White leads the NFL in tackles. Bonnet leads the NFL in tackles for loss and sacks. We're towards the top of the NFL in takeaways, and we're closer to the bottom in giveaways. The special teams have been pretty solid as well. As for where our guys currently stand in the awards, we took a quick look at these in the last episode, but as of right now, Puma is 6th for MVP. Keep in mind he's at a bye week, and a lot of the guys ahead of him have not. He is in 9th for Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC. Simeon Bonnet is 1st, of course, with Devin White currently in 6th. We have no Rookie of the Year candidates, but we do have Puma in 3rd for the best quarterback. Arturo Modelo is 7th for best receiver. I feel like Jamo's been a little bit better than Modelo this year, so it surprises me that he's there. Jedrick Wills is 3rd for best offensive lineman, even though he's missed half the games. Simeon Bonnet is 1st for D-line. Devin White 3rd at linebacker. Demore Diggins is 2nd at corner. I don't agree with that. I think the interceptions are certainly inflating his value there, while Cam Lucifer is in 5th, and Cameron Dicker is also in 5th. As we continue to really play well early in this season, the Niners have gotten off to the opposite start. They are the only team in the NFC West who hasn't been any good so far. They're currently 2-5, and this is a surprise. They have one of the best rosters in the NFL. They won this division last year, which obviously was a loaded division with 3 playoff teams and everybody finishing above 500. The Niners just have not played good football, point blank, period. We beat them back in week 5. I will say the Niners do have a little bit of momentum coming off a win in week 7 and a bye week in week 8, so they're energized. They have an extra long week with the bye week and the fact that this is a Monday night. We already know their roster super well. We've played these guys a bazillion times over the last few seasons. Now, they did trade away Kevin Byard to the Jets for a day 3 draft pick at the trade deadline, but other than that, it's pretty much the same roster. Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and the fellas. Let's get this game rolling. Week 9, Monday Night Football here at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Can the Dragons sweep their interdivision rivals, the San Francisco 49ers? When we played against the Niners in week 5, the storyline that I had talked about was how the Niners were looking for revenge. We played against the Niners 3 times last year, twice in their own building, and we blew them out both times. Once late in the regular season and once in the playoffs. You got to imagine the Niners have had the games against us circled on their calendar. Now, we beat them again in Week 5. We'll see if the Niners can finally defeat us here in Week 9, or if we just happen to own this team. Here's McCaffrey on second down, cuts to the left side, and he gets a strong run to the 47-yard line for a gain of 22. I think on a snap-to-snap basis, the Dragons' run defense has been pretty good this year, but they allow way too many big plays. We saw that a couple weeks ago with L.J. Allen. We saw it last week against the Chargers. Here's McCaffrey on the wheel route, jukes away from John Johnson, and he's wrapped up at the 27. McCaffrey was supposed to be covered by Jabril Fofana, but he didn't get a quick enough get-off the line of scrimmage. On 3rd and 10, Brock Purdy throws it away. It's B.J. Ojulari in the backfield with the pressure. Ojulari continuing his strong season as Ronnie Stanley goes to the locker room. That's a big loss for the Niners. Got to imagine that'll make Simeon Bonnett's life a whole lot easier. Kick on its way is good from Jake Moody. That's a 44-yarder. And so it's 3-0. Dragons with the ball for the first time today. Play action fake for Juskins. Puma on the run. He will sail it, and it's caught by Weaver. What a catch by Griffin Weaver III. And you can tack on an additional 15 with a late hit, roughing the passer, Javon Hargrave with the penalty. What a play by Puma Whitlock under pressure, making an awesome throw, and a great catch as well by Griffin Weaver. 2nd and 3, here's DeAndre Swift back in the lineup. He brings it to the 9. Swift played really well in both matchups, or both wins, I should say, last year against San Francisco. It's really good having him back, as he hasn't really been healthy since Week 2. 3rd and goal. Puma looking for the end zone. It's broken up by Jalen Fox, the reigning Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's lucky that ball was not intercepted. He had Modelo open, but he didn't put enough mustard on that pass. So the Dragons are going to kick. Their red zone struggles continue. 26-yarder for Cameron Dicker is good, and we're tied at 3. Niners back with it. McCaffrey smothered in the backfield by DeJuan Overton, as now Lloyd Cushenberry is hurt for San Francisco. So they've had 2 offensive linemen get injured today. 2nd and 13 now. Purdy under pressure from Bonnet as he fires for the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, Deebo Samuel, who brings it to the 49. Our defense historically has done a good job with Deebo, and hopefully today history will repeat itself. 3rd and 7. Purdy connects with Kittle, who only gains 6. Nice tackle there by Demore Diggins. And the Niners are going to kick on 4th and 1. I feel like the likelihood of getting a 1-yard gain is higher than making a 57-yard field goal, although Moody has made some long kicks against us in the past, as this one barely squeaks through from 57. The 49ers lead at 6-3. 3rd and 1 now from the 47. It's King Henry, bounces off a blocker and does not get a first down. And now Diamond Richardson is hurt for the Niners. They're losing all their linemen, for Christ's sakes. The Dragons are going to punt it here on 4th and 1. Interesting call. Presley Harvin looks to pin him deep, and it's a fake! Sean Tucker looks to throw it, and it's incomplete. He had Ronrakis Barber wide open and misses the throw. The Dragons are not a team who often fakes kicks and punts. I'm pretty sure this is the first fake punt in team history, and it's unsuccessful. Niners back with it, 2nd and 3. McCaffrey with a juke. He brings it to the 18. Now Overton is hurt. Both teams are having linemen drop like flies. Overton should be fine, though, as he would suffer a minor shoulder injury. 2nd and 10 from the 18 for San Francisco. Purdy looks to throw it. He's under pressure from Bonnet as he fires for Yami Oosterswan, who gains 8 or 9. But that's going to be an automatic first down because Simeon Bonnet was in the backfield with a late hit on the quarterback. So now the Niners have it at like the 5-yard line. Their offense has had some nice drives here in the first, but they haven't been able to punch it in. 3rd and goal. McCaffrey is stopped. Devin White with the initial contact, and Jelani Tavai brings him down. So the Niners have an interesting dilemma here. They're going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 2. It's a handoff to the other running back, Dexter Sanders, who dives in for a touchdown. And the San Francisco 49ers take a 2-score lead into the second quarter as it's 13-3. Strong start for the Niners. We'll see if the Dragons can respond. 2nd and 4 up the middle is Weaver with a nice block from Swift. Jukes the defender, breaks a tackle, and is wrapped up by Fred Warner at the 39. Strong start today for Weaver. Play action for Juskins. Puma's got a wide open man. It's Greg Dortch. But the pass is offline. That would have been a touchdown if he put it on the money. 3rd and 10 now for the Dragons from the 38. Puma's going to look short. He's got Darwin Juskins open, and he gets around 8. Sent out of bounds by Talanoa Hufanga. 4th and 2. Do you kick it or do you go for it? A field goal makes it a one-score game, but the Dragons are aggressive. They will go. It's DeAndre Swift who fights forward for a gain of 3 or 4, and of course he is injured because, well, that's his injury luck. It doesn't look like a serious injury, and he won't go to the locker room, but he may miss some snaps over these next few drives. Not ideal for a guy who really hasn't played since week 2. Puma's sacked on the play action. It's JT Woods off the safety blitz making the play. Woods is now the full-time free safety with Kevin Byard gone. 3rd and long, pass is tipped by Warner and Likely, but it's ultimately incomplete. It looked like Modelo was open, but Puma underthrew the pass a little bit, and after all that, the Dragons are going to have to kick one. 53-yard field goal for Cameron Dicker is good, and so it's now 13-6. The Niners hold on to a 7-point lead as it's a 3rd and 8. St. Louis's defense could use a stop right about now. Purdy on the run, under pressure, misfires. Good coverage. Yami Oosterswan unable to make the grab, and so San Francisco has to punt it. It's a 3 and out. Dragons back with it on offense. 3rd and 2. Puma's under pressure. It is broken up, incomplete. He was trying to force it in there to Likely, but to no avail, and the Dragons will punt. Niners back with it. 2nd and 8. Handoff for McCaffrey. He is smothered in the backfield. Devin White brings him down. Bonnet was there as well. And so now it's a 3rd and 10. The Dragons defense definitely playing a lot better here in the second quarter. Why not keep it going? Ojulari and Bonnet in the backfield with pressure as Purdy has to throw it away, incomplete. And the Dragons get it back on offense. 1st and 10, handoff for DeAndre Swift. He's got blocks and room. Down the field, Swift makes it all the way to the 22. I think it's fair to say he looks pretty healthy on that run, gaining 43 yards. His longest regular season run in around 2 years. On 3rd and goal, though, Swift cannot punch it in. The Dragons are going to go for it here on 4th and goal. Again, being aggressive, keeping the offense out on the field. Puma, under a ton of pressure, is incomplete. So the Niners get the defensive stand on the goal line. Another failed red zone trip for the Dragons, who wanted to be aggressive, and it backfires. Niners back with it. 2nd and 3. Nice throw from Purdy out to Samuel. The Niners were chewing clock. They waved the white flag on this drive, but after that play, maybe they can get something. With 10 seconds to go, it's George Kittle open on the wheel route to the 45, and the Niners are going to call a timeout with 3 seconds left on the clock. So they're going to bring the field goal unit out. Interesting decision because this is a 62-yarder for Moody. His kick is up, and he got it! Jake Moody from 62 to end the half. We had Jamison Williams back deep, ready to return that. I did not think that kick was going in. Niners lead at 16-6 going into halftime. A lot of field goals so far as we take a look at our scores around the league. For those curious about the NFC West, the Rams had their bye week while Seattle beat a solid Broncos team 28-21. So Seattle continues to make things close within the NFC West race. With a win today, we would hold on to first place, but the Rams and Seahawks are on our tails. We still have to play the Rams twice, and we've got the Seahawks again later in the year. As we go into the second half, the offense hasn't started off great. I've noticed that our offense seems to start games slow and then pick it up as the game goes along. So I'm hoping that continues to be the case here. We are running the ball really well. DeAndre Swift returning to the offense has been gigantic, but we need more from the passing game. It's been a quiet start for Puma Whitlock. Defensively, started slow, but we've picked it up. Hopefully we can continue to defend the pass along with Christian McCaffrey on the ground, just as we did in the second quarter. So we're going to open up with the ball here in the third as Jamison Williams makes a nice play. He's out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Jamo's been pretty quiet today. Got to get him going on first down. Puma on the run, looking for Williams, and it's caught to the 39. Nice play there from Puma Whitlock to Jamison Williams. Puma under a ton of pressure with an awesome throw on the run, showing his improvising skills. 2nd and 5, here's Darwin Juskins with plenty of room. brings it to the 16. Obviously, DeAndre Swift is going to be the lead runner now that he's healthy, but Darwin Juskins is still going to hold a role for this team. Of course, he had the game-winning touchdown in overtime last week against the Chargers. From the 5, 1st and goal, it's Swift looking to power his way in. He does! Touchdown! DeAndre Swift! And the St. Louis Dragons make it a one-score game. Swift's first touchdown back from injury. And all of a sudden, things get real interesting. It's 13-16. On first down, here's CMC looking to break a couple tackles, and he does! Still on his feet. What a run by Christian McCaffrey, who is in his 10th NFL season, and he still really hasn't lost a beat for the most part. One of the most talented running backs really to ever play the game at this point. 3rd and 8, Purdy under pressure from Bonnet. His pass is broken up in the secondary by Jeff Okudah. Good stop by the defense, and the Dragons are looking strong here in the second half. They start with an early touchdown and a defensive stop. 3rd and 11 here for the offense. Puma looking downfield. He connects with Arturo Modelo. Down the field. No one's going to catch him. It's Modelo time. A 63-yard touchdown for Arturo Modelo. His team leading 6th touchdown from scrimmage this year. And the Dragons take the lead. It's 20-16 with another connection from Puma to Modelo. And the legend of Arturo Modelo continues to grow. Modelo's had some big catches in his career here in San Francisco. He adds another one to the list. The Dragons have all the momentum right now, and San Fran's got to wake up. Purdy fires to Deebo Samuel inside the numbers, and he brings it to the 50 for a solid first down gain. Niners just looking to get back into a rhythm offensively. They've been cold since the first quarter, although Sanders is flipped on his head by Devin White, who forces a loss of 4. White continuing to be a nuisance in the run game per usual for the opposition. 3rd and 9. Here is Purdy up the middle. Fires for his tight end, George Kittle, who brings it to the 23. Big gain for San Francisco, and now the offense really is in business, getting awfully close to the end zone. It is a 1st and 20, though, after a holding call, so that'll pump the brakes a little bit for the 49ers. Purdy looks to throw it under a ton of pressure from Bonnet. It's caught by Oosterswan, who gets nothing. Good pressure by Bonnet. Good job by Demore Diggins to quickly bring him down. As you can tell, everything for this defense right now is clicking. 3rd and 20 with around 20 seconds to go in the 3rd. Purdy has time, escapes the pocket, being chased by Bonnet, and has to throw it away. Excellent coverage there. The pass rusher was a little bit slow until Bonnet finally got into the backfield, but the coverage held up there for a while. Field goal unit is back. 50-yarder for Moody is right down the middle. His 3rd kick today from beyond 50 yards, and it's 20-19 as we go into the 4th. First play of the quarter. Puma up the middle, connects with the rookie Aaron Mayer, who brings it to the 40. Mayer drafted in the 5th round out of USC, getting a couple extra snaps with Tykeem Keon Jr. still injured. He'll be back next week. Here's Isaiah Likely. Breaks a tackle, fighting for yardage to the 41. Nice play there by Likely as the Dragons look to keep things rolling. 3rd and 7, right in fringe field goal range as it's caught by Jamison Williams for a first down. Half the distance to the goal line. He gains 19, bringing the Dragons to the 19. They've now got it at the 2. 3rd and goal with 6 to go. Puma's got room up the middle. He's in. Touchdown, Dragons. Puma Whitlock with a rushing touchdown up the middle. He couldn't find anybody open early except for an open rushing lane, which he uses to put the Dragons ahead by 8. 3rd and 7. Purdy under pressure, and he misfires for Deebo Samuel. Again, Bonnet in the backfield. No sacks today for Simeon Bonnet, but he has still been all over Brock Purdy in terms of sending consistent pressure. 3rd and 2 for the offense. Derrick Henry loses 2, and he gets banged up on the play. That was Talanoa Hufanga in the backfield, so that'll force a punt. There's only 2:40 left on the clock. It's been a quick 4th quarter. And as you can see, the Niners have a chance to potentially tie the game with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. On first down, Purdy goes up the middle for Yami Oosterswan, who brings it to the 45. The Niners only have 6 points since the first quarter, one of which was off of a 62-yard field goal. How much does that count? Following play, under pressure, he's sacked by Ojulari. Finally, the Dragons get their first sack of the game. 3rd and 8 now for the 47. Purdy has time. Now he's under pressure from Bonnet and fires for George Kittle, who's got it at the 38. Niners have 2 timeouts in their back pocket and pretty good field position. They've moved it really well. Purdy looking for Kittle again, and he would bring it to the 19. Following play with 43 seconds after using their second timeout, Purdy looks for the sidelines, and he fires for Jumani Kaur, who has it at the 6. The Niners have managed the clock very well, but they've still got to punch it in and get the 2. Purdy looking for the end zone on first down. He's got it. Yami Ooster-Swan with the touchdown. And now it's time for the moment of truth. Can San Francisco tie the game at 27? Their offense does part 1, but they've got to punch it in here with the game possibly on the line. McCaffrey in motion, lines out as a receiver. Purdy goes empty. Looks short from McCaffrey, and we're tied at 27. So bearing a game-winning drive from Puma Whitlock, the Dragons could be going back into overtime for a 3rd consecutive week. They couldn't get anything going on first or second down. Now 3rd down, it's Isaiah Likely who gets around 7. The Niners are not going to call the timeout, so the Dragons are going to let the clock roll to 1 second. And they're going to lob it up here on 4th and 3, figuring they might as well. Puma Whitlock looking for the game, looking for Jamison Williams. It's incomplete. And we are going to overtime for a 3rd consecutive game. The Dragons have won back-to-back overtime games, all of which have been on the road. So, obviously, we've gotten to pick the coin toss each time, and as you guys know, tails never fails. Tails is 1-1 so far. Here's the rubber match. It lands on tails. The Dragons will start with the ball, and they will look to score. In the first game against Washington, the Dragons started on offense, scored a touchdown, game over. In the second game against the Chargers, we did not start with the ball. Defense got a stop. Offense marches down the field and scores. Can the Dragons win their 3rd consecutive overtime game starting on offense? First play is Swift. Might be the only play. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but he still gets 30, bringing it to the 45. Big blocks from Isaiah Likely. 2nd and 7 now at the 42. Puma hands it off for Juskins. Had the game-winning score last week with plenty of blocks, and he's got it to the 15. The run game has been clutch here for the Dragons in overtime, and they're close to finishing this one off. 2nd and 6. Puma looks short. It's going to be Juskins. He's so close. He's got it at the 2. Pushed out by Talanoa Hufanga. Can the Dragons finish this one off for good? Win their 3rd consecutive overtime game. It's Swift. That's your ball game. DeAndre Swift with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And don't look now, folks. The St. Louis Dragons have won 4 in a row. The last 3 have been in overtime, with 3 overtime game-winning drives by Puma Whitlock and the offense as we defeat the Niners again. This time 33-27. At least the Niners kept it close. That hasn't necessarily been the case with us and them over our last couple of matchups. But still a really strong win here for the Dragons, who are now 6-2 towards the top of the NFC standings, remaining in first place, sole possession of first place in the NFC West. Wasn't a perfect game by any means on either side of the ball, but when we needed to get the job done, we did. Puma Whitlock had some rough moments in this game, but for the most part, he was really solid, especially after halftime, where he barely missed any passes. He was automatic in the second half after a not-so-good first half. As for Brock Purdy, he was okay. I think the best part with Purdy's game is that he got rid of the ball quickly, avoiding sacks on the ground. Our run game has been a train wreck the last 2 weeks, but how about this? DeAndre Swift back on the lineup was dominant. It wasn't just him, though. Darwin Juskins over 10 yards a carry. Puma Whitlock had some good runs as well. I think having Swift back certainly opened things up for the run game. While it wasn't just him, he does deserve a ton of credit. In the receiving game, Kittle, Jamo, Debo, Likely, and Modelo lead the way for both teams. I thought both offensive lines were really good, not just in the run game, but also in pass protection. Only 2 total sacks today. Woods and Ojulari with 1 for each team. No turnovers on either side, and of course, I got to shout out Jake Moody, 4 for 4 on kicks, 3 of them from beyond 50, 1 of them beyond 60. But it's not enough for the Niners to get the win. They fall to 2-6, while we go up to 6-2. We already saw all the scores around the NFL since our game was the Monday night game, but if you want another look at them, here's a quick look. The Rams are 5-3. The Seahawks are 5-4, so they're both a game to a game and a half behind us. So we have a somewhat of a cushionable lead. Cushionable is not a word, but we have a little cushion behind us for our lead, but certainly not by much, especially with a tough second half schedule coming. Players of the week: Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Nick Sutton, and Foye Oluokun. That'll bring us into Week 10. The 3-5 New York Football Giants are on slate. We do lose one of our practice squad receivers, Octavian Wilson. We're going to replace him with Colin Robinson out of free agency. Robinson was drafted in the 3rd round a few years ago out of Idaho by the Falcons. Clearly it didn't work out there, but I really like him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets called up to the active roster fairly soon. There's just nobody whose spot he would take in the immediate future. The Giants are in an interesting spot because obviously they have the rookie quarterback. They've been pretty good throughout this series, maybe not so much last year, but the first couple seasons they were a pretty consistent playoff team in the NFC. They've been very inconsistent on a week-to-week basis. They score 42 in week 1, and then they score 3 the next week. I think that's a perfect representation of what the 2026 New York Giants are. They've lost 3 in a row, and they haven't won since before their bye week in week 5 against the Commanders. On offense, they are led by rookie quarterback Stanley Cubbage Jr., the reigning national championship winning quarterback out of the University of Oregon, who they traded up to get in the first round. Cubbage is a very physically talented quarterback, 93 throw power, 91 speed, but boy, is he raw as a passer. He had some really good starts early on, but it's kind of gone downhill since. He hasn't really had a great game since week 3. He didn't even play in week 8 against the Cowboys, and he just hasn't been all that good as of recent. Of course, they still have Daniel Jones. They have a good backfield with Saquon Barkley and Miko Alexander. The receivers are not great, although they do have 4th-round rookie Emery Lavelle, one of the biggest steals in the draft, and their tight end Darren Waller is hurt. The Giants do have a strong offensive line led by high draft picks such as Andrew Thomas and Finn Heineman. I like what they have defensively as well, but their lack of skill position players for their young quarterback really is not ideal, and it has shown with Stanley Cubbage's game-by-game performances. So let's get this show underway. Week 10 back at home. We haven't had many home games this year. The last time we played at home was back in Week 5, our first meeting with the 49ers. Since our last home game, we've gone through our bye week, we've gone through the trade deadline, and we've won 3 separate overtime games. That's how long it's been since we've been on our home turf, so it is certainly good to be back against a talented Giants team, rocking some throwback jerseys. The Giants have some of the most underrated throwback jerseys in the league, and I will die on that hill. So New York will start with the ball, 3rd and 2. Cubbage, quick throw for Isaiah Hodgins, who gets 14. Isaiah Hodgins is a pretty solid player, but not ideal to be your wide receiver 1, and that is the circumstances that the Giants have given their young quarterback. 3rd down, another slant and another conversion, this time the rookie out of USC, Emery Lavelle. I think the Cubbage and Lavelle connection could be one of the better ones in the league in due time if both players develop well. 3rd and 2, Hodgins is unable to hold on to it. Jeff Okudah jars it out. Owen Popo was there as well. The Giants have an interesting choice here on 4th and 2, and they're going to go for it. I like the aggressiveness to start the game here from head coach Brian Daboll. As Cubbage looks to throw it, his pass is incomplete. Hodgins drops it again. Devin White this time got a hand on it. Yeah, it's not great having Isaiah Hodgins as the wide receiver 1, as you can tell by that possession. Dragons with it, 3rd and 3. Swift jukes away from a defender, but he gets nothing. Leonard Williams dinged up on the play for the Giants, and the Dragons would decide to punt it. New York back with it. Here's Miko Alexander. He's got blocks. A gain of 29 yards for Alexander. The former number 1 recruit out of high school went to the University of Georgia, had a pretty solid career there, and is now the change of pace back to Barkley. Miko gets by another defender. Off to the races. He brings it to the 1. This time, Miko gains 51. 80 yards on this possession for Miko Alexander. The Giants are going to try to get him to finish off the drive, and sure enough, he will. Miko Alexander in for the score. And the Giants are on the board first. They lead at 7-0. Not ideal. As I mentioned in the Niners game, our run defense is good on a down-to-down basis, but they allow too many big plays. Here's Puma. Fires on second down for Jameson Williams, who brings it to the 39. Quick throw up the middle. Good play by both Puma and Jamo. From the 39, following play, it's a handoff for Swift, who is leveled in the backfield by big, sexy Dexter Lawrence, who's now in the zone. That's frightening. It's going to be a handoff to Juskins, and he goes backwards, losing 2. Monacar Monterey brings him down. So far, not a great start for the run game. 3rd and 14, Puma's under a ton of pressure. Tries to get rid of it, and he throws at it the sack from Kayvon Thibodeau. But the pass is incomplete, and the Dragons are going to have to punt it. Presley Harvin will look to boot this one, and it's Miko Alexander who had the big possession on the last series, back deep to return it for the Giants. He's got it inside the 20, and Alexander runs up the middle and then gets hurt. This is a big deal for the Giants because he was playing really well so far. The only reason why he got all the snaps on the last drive is because Saquon Barkley got banged up earlier. And the Giants are not only down to their 3rd-string running back, but their 2 tight ends behind Darren Waller also got injured today. So they're down to their 4th-string tight end. Cubbage scrambles away and is hit from behind by Simeon Bonnet. A first down saving tackle by Bonnet. I think Cubbage is going to have to run a lot here, considering he's down to his 3rd-string running back, his 4th-string tight end, and worst of all, Isaiah Hodgins is his number 1 receiver. 3rd and 5, final play of the first quarter. There's Isaiah Likely to the 36. It was supposed to be an out route, not a wheel route for Likely, but he was open the entire play, so it didn't really matter that he ran the wrong route. 3rd and 5 now from the 42 to start the second quarter. Here's Puma, up the middle, misfires. Arturo Modelo, the intended target. Good coverage by the rookie cornerback out of Oklahoma, Corbin Sheffield. Giants with it, 3rd and 3, passes broken up by Owen Popo. I think we're going to see a lot of quick throws by Cubbage, not wanting to have his receivers do too much, considering, well, he doesn't exactly have the best receiving core along with him. 3rd and 2, play action. Puma on the run with a strike to the sidelines, and it's caught inbounds by Jameson Williams. What a throw there by Puma Whitlock, and an incredible job by Jameson Williams to keep both feet in bounds. Following play, Puma again on the run. This time he's not so lucky as he's sacked by Azeez Ojulari, the older brother of Dragons pass rusher B.J. Ojulari. The Ojulari family reunion here in St. Louis today is on 3rd down. The pass is broken up by Deonte Banks, the former first-round corner out of the University of Maryland. Here is Cameron Dicker on to kick it for the Dragons from 51. It's up and good. And so it's now 7-3. The Dragons have an interesting opportunity here defensively with how depleted the Giants are. You got to imagine the Dragons defense should have a really good game the rest of the way unless the Giants lean into Saquon Barkley as they do on this play. Barkley back in the lineup after missing the past couple of possessions. The Giants have to lean on him if their offense wants any chance of succeeding. 3rd and 3, pass is broken up. Good coverage by the linebacker, Jabril Fofana. And so the Giants would ultimately punt it. So far, the Dragons defense has done really well since all the injuries. Give them credit. Here's Puma on the run. Fires for Arturo Modelo, who brings it to the 42. Puma's made a lot of throws today on the run. Doing it once again there with Modelo. From the 38, 2nd and 6. Here's Puma. Rolls out to the right side. This time he's going to look to run it, and he's got plenty of room. Down the sideline, he slides at the 12. A gain of 26 on the ground for Puma Whitlock, and now the Dragons have it on the goal line. We'll see if they can finally get into the end zone. 1st and goal. Puma's going to scramble with it. On the run for Modelo. It's caught! What a play by Puma Whitlock. Scrambling, rolling out to the right, and a great job by Arturo Modelo to keep both feet in bounds. It's Modelo time, everybody. Arturo Modelo's team-leading 7th receiving touchdown of the year, and the Dragons lead for the first time today as it's now 10-7. 3rd and 9, here's Cubbage looking for the screen for Barkley, and he gets around 5 or 6. I don't think the play calling's been bad for the Giants. They've needed to make quick throws. They've needed to get Saquon Barkley involved. It just hasn't really worked out because of the noticeable lack of talent that the Giants have on that side of the ball. Dragons looking to score again before the end of the half as Puma on 3rd and 7 connects with Isaiah Likely, who only gets 4. Dragons would punt it. Their offensive momentum stalls out, and the Giants get it back with 30 seconds and 2 timeouts as Cubbage runs directly into the defense. Trajan Blychen then brings him down in the backfield. What was that play supposed to be? A QB draw? Horribly executed. Looks like the Alabama version of the QB draw. 10-7 your score at half, another low-scoring game, but again, per usual, the Dragons' offense seems to play better in the second half. Let's take a look at our halftime report around the rest of the NFL, as we will start with an interdivision battle in Cincinnati. Close game so far between the Bengals and the Ravens, and currently Cincinnati leads it 17-10. The Bengals have been one of the bigger disappointments in the NFL this year with a record of 3-6. They've got to get back on the win column with a win today. In Arrowhead, a shocker so far. The Broncos lead 17-0 over Kansas City. Is this Broncos team for real? We'll find out next week as we get to play against them. And in the NFC East, the Washington Commanders lead the Eagles 10-7. Washington 4-5, looking to get the upset over the Birds as we move into the second half. Our offense, again, hasn't been great, as has been in the first half of most games this year. We haven't been able to run the ball at all. I think that has to be priority number one. The reason why we won against the Niners is because we got the ground game going. Defensively, we've got to be able to stop the run, make Stanley Cubbage beat us with his arm, and limit Barkley on the ground. Saquon hasn't been all that productive in the run game today, but he has been good as a receiver. To start the third quarter, Puma on the run has Likely kind of open downfield, but instead scrambles for a solid gain. There's been virtually no pressure from the left side of the Giants' defensive line, so Puma's been able to scramble right all game. 2nd and 6, play action. Puma on the run, takes a shot for the heavens. It's caught by Likely, who's got it at the 1. Unlike the play earlier on this drive, Puma will go downfield for Isaiah Likely, who has the Dragons right at the goal line. What a throw by Puma under pressure as he's going to waltz it in the end zone on the very next play for a rushing touchdown. Puma's now got a passing and rushing score today, and the Dragons with 17 unanswered lead 17-7. The Giants got to get something going on offense, right? Here's Barkley up the middle with a good run to the 42. The Giants have to continue to lean on him. He's the only productive weapon who's healthy in the game. On first down, Cubbage connects. Nice throw and catch into the hands of Paris Campbell, who gets the first down. And the Giants are moving it pretty well down the field here, I've got to say. 2nd and 3 now from the 26. Cubbage empty, calls an audible. It's another QB draw. And again, it does not work as he is slammed into the backfield by Devontae Wyatt. 3rd and 4 now from the 28 here for the Giants. Cubbage again looks to throw it. It's a screen for Barkley. Fofana sniffs up the play immediately, and while he does not make the tackle, he has enough contact for Devontae Wyatt to quickly bring down Barkley. That'll bring out the field goal unit. Lefty kicker here from the Giants. 48-yard try is up and good, and Big Blue makes it a one-score game as it's now 17-10. Dragons still in a good spot. The defense has played as well as they should be against an XFL-level offense, and they've got it back, but not for long! Puma's intercepted! Monacar Monterey! The former Michigan State Spartan picks it off, and this game just got real interesting. A costly turnover by Puma, and the Giants get the ball in the red zone. What an opportunity! Now they've got it at the 5 with a nice reception there by one of the tight ends. That's Archer Chapman. 2nd and goal from the 5. Cubbage looks to throw it, and he is picked off in the end zone. Nakobe Dean with the interception, and the Dragons get it right back. Both teams trade off turnovers, and St. Louis is going to get the ball right back after all. A major break for the Dragons, who are going to look to rebound off the turnover. Puma scrambles right, connects with Jamison Williams. He could have run for a nice gain. I'm not sure why he didn't, because there was more traffic towards JMO, but the play worked out. Can you blame him? From the 28, Puma, clean pocket, fires for JMO once again. Jukes away from a defender and brings it past midfield to the 49. Minus the interception, the offense looks like they're in a pretty good rhythm. Again, this team seems to start slow on offense, but they play better as the game goes along. Juskins with blockers and a couple broken tackles gets it to the 33. The one issue with the Dragons today is that they have not still been able to get the ground game going. Hopefully that play can be a sign of things to come. Modelo brings it to the 10. Huge gain for St. Louis, and they are getting awfully close to the end zone. Now in the fourth quarter, 7-point game, 3rd and 2. It's a pitch to the right side for DeAndre Swift, and he is so close at the 1-yard line, wrapped up by Bobby Okereke. 4th and inches. I get a field goal makes it a 2-score game, but when you're this close, you gotta go for it. So it's going to be Modelo in motion. He gets the jet sweep, and the Giants don't fall for it. A loss of 2. Trayvon Merrick with the tackle. The Dragons are not good at running the ball up the middle, so they try to catch the Giants off guard with the outside run on the jet sweep, and the Giants are not fooled. They'll get it back on offense. Still a 7-point game, and they're quickly out of safety territory as Saquon Barkley gets 14 on the ground, and now the Giants have some room to work with offensively. We'll see if Stanley Cubbage Jr. can look to lead them down the field and maybe tie the game. On first down, he's got Barkley open on the wheel route. Another reception for Barkley, who continues to be a big impact in the passing game. By far the best receiver today for the Giants. He now has 7 catches. 2nd and 9 from the 37. Cubbage looks to throw it. He's under a little pressure on the run. Fires for Barkley again. Saquon Barkley fumbles it, and it's picked up by the defense. Oh man, what a massive turnover from St. Louis, if it stands. And unfortunately, I don't think it will. Let's take a look at the replay. That was Okudah, who would have gotten the ball out, but as you can see, Saquon Barkley is very clearly down right there. His rear end touches the ground while having possession of the ball, and thus the play is reversed. A massive break for the Giants, who not only keep the ball, but they get the big first down. Here's Cubbage on the run, tripped up to the 22. The Dragons have tried to send a ton of blitzes today, get as much pressure in the backfield as possible, so Cubbage has to be forced into short decisions. Now from the 22, Cubbage is sacked. W9&10 and Simeon Bonnet with half a sack each. First sack of the game for the defense. Similarly to the Niners game, they've sent good pressure, but haven't finished in the backfield until that play. 2nd and 14, it's the other healthy running back, Brendan McGee, who gets 8, and Devin White is injured on the play with the diagnosis being broken ribs. A massive loss for this defense, one of the best and most important players and leaders on the roster. 3rd and 6 now for the Giants. It's a run with McGee, who breaks the tackle from Dean and somehow gets the first down. Are you kidding? What a play by Brendan McGee to fight for yardage and keep the drive going. If Devin White was there, he would have made the tackle. 2nd and 6. Barkley stuffed in the backfield for a loss. Jelani Tavai, Simeon Bonnet, and others bring him down. And so it's now 3rd and 8 at the 10. Cubbage looks to throw it, looking for the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Isaiah Hodgins, the wide receiver 1, comes down with the score. The Giants drive the length of the field to tie the game. Their first touchdown since early in the first quarter. And we're now knotted up at 17. Time for the offense to get to work. There's Jamison Williams to the 46. J-Mo and Puma both have had pretty strong second halves. Puma's in the zone looking to finish the game off for good as he's under pressure and is sacked. Marcus Ortiz in the backfield, forcing a loss of 11. Could this game possibly go into overtime as well? That would be hilarious. 4 consecutive overtime games as it's caught by Modelo for a first down to the 30. So the Dragons are in field goal range now. Got to imagine they want more than a field goal, though. Still, nonetheless, a huge play from Puma to Modelo. From the 30, Derrick Henry loses 2, and J-Mo's hurt. It's not going to be a serious injury, but if he is out for the remainder of the game, that's a pretty big deal, being that he is one of the best and most important players on the offense. 3rd and 2. Puma rolls out to the right. He's actually under a little pressure here, and it's incomplete. He threw the pass just a little bit too early, and Bobby Okereke gets a hand on it. What do you do on 4th and 2? The Dragons are going to play it safe and kick. If you trust your defense to get a stop, then kicking here is the move. With how well the defense has played today, you absolutely trust them. I get the Giants just had a 96-yard drive, but other than that, their offense has been very bad. On first down, it's a corner blitz. Demore Diggins from the nickel is in the backfield with a sack. As I mentioned earlier, the Dragons are trying to run a lot of blitzes. Make this rookie quarterback's life a living hell. On 3rd and 16, the screen is broken up. Don't know why he ran a screen on 3rd down. It could be worse, though. A few weeks ago, the Niners ran a screen on 4th and long. The Giants will go for it here, possibly for the game, and it's incomplete. Hodgins was open. He could have made that throw, but he was under pressure and misfires. A first down now ends it for good, as on 3rd and 6, it is a pass. Puma under a ton of pressure, tries to force it in there, but it's incomplete. Monacar Monterey with the deflection, so the Giants get the stop, and their offense will get another chance. Now they're going to need a touchdown, as Cameron Dicker makes the chip shot field goal from 26 yards out, and so it's now 23-17. One more chance for Stanley Cubbage Jr. and the Giants to get the win. On first down, Cubbage up the middle. Pass is caught by Paris Campbell. He brings it to the 37. Good start. Giants still have the timeout in their back pocket, looking for the right time to use it. It's not here. 3rd and 10. Cubbage with a clean pocket. Up the middle for Barkley. Breaks a tackle, and Saquon has it at the 30. A massive play for the Giants. Clock is ticking, 35 to go. Cubbage looks to throw it. Under pressure and is sacked by Devontae Wyatt. And the Giants will use their final timeout. 2nd and 23 with 30 to go. Cubbage looks to throw it. He's picked off. That'll do it. Jeff Okudah with the interception, and the Dragons survive. We don't need overtime to get the win here. Our first regulation win since week 5. But nonetheless, we do get the job done here over the New York Football Giants, 23-17. It wasn't pretty. It was ugly, but we still got the job done. And our Dragons have now won 5 games in a row, the longest win streak, regular season or postseason combined, in team history. That's pretty cool. Albeit, none of these 5 wins have been very convincing, but in the NFL, a win's a win. You'll never complain. Puma Whitlock did not have his best game. He wasn't, bad, but for his standards, I wouldn't say he was good. As for the Giants, I think all things considered, Stanley Cubbage wasn't that bad. I get the numbers are not good, but keep in mind, other than Saquon Barkley, he had nothing to work with. No wonder it's been a tough rookie season for him, and once the Giants get appropriate weapons, I'm confident he will be a good player. Neither team really ran the ball well, except for that one really good drive by Miko Alexander, where he had the ball 3 times and turned it into 80 yards and a score, and then got hurt shortly thereafter. Saquon Barkley led all players in receiving. J-Mo, Likely, and Modelo, all very good for us. Quiet day, though, for Griffin Weaver. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come. And then defensively, a few guys really stood out. Devontae Wyatt in particular was awesome. A couple of big interceptions from Dean and Okudah. Cameron Dicker made all his kicks. Although we do have one new injury, as I mentioned, with Devin White. A pretty significant one. Broken ribs. He will miss the next 4 games. White has led the NFL in tackles over the last 3 seasons, and he was going to be on pace to lead the league in tackles again, and now it looks like he's no longer going to get that opportunity. White's been fantastic this year, even better than he's been in past seasons, which says something. His consistency on a game-to-game basis is incredible. Other than this game and then Week 8 against the Chargers, where he was also banged up, he gets 8 to 15 tackles every week, 1 to 3 tackles for loss. Owen Popeau is going to be the main off-ball linebacker now. I think he's ready for it, and we're going to see more Jabril Fofana, more Nakobe Dean, who had the big interception, and more Jelani Tavai. Let's take a look at the Week 10 scores. The Rams won, the Seahawks won, and the Niners lost because they played against the Rams. Players of the Week, Dynamite Williams, Patrick Mahomes, again, he won both of them today, Jamel Dean, and Trayvon Walker. That'll bring us into the next episode. We've got the Broncos coming in. Denver choked a 17-0 lead against the Chiefs this past week. Got to imagine they're going to be pretty pissed off, and hopefully they don't take it out on us. I'm also probably going to have a prospect profile in the next episode. We're going to look at offensive skill position players in this year's draft class. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.